For centuries, we've been taught that all the world's ancient wisdom traditions are these separate, competing paths. But what if that's not the whole story? What if there's a single, hidden message scattered across all of them, like fragments of a treasure map, just waiting for someone to piece them together? I mean, really think about that for a second. What if civilizations, separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years, with absolutely no way to talk to each other, all stumbled upon the exact same insights about the nature of reality? What would that mean about us and about the universe itself? Well, the source material we're diving into today suggests that is exactly what happened. And look, this isn't about religion or dogma, it's about seeing these ancient texts in a new light, as a kind of universal instruction manual, a treasure map left behind for all of us. Okay, so if this universal message is real, why does it feel so hidden? Why do we get so bogged down in all the differences between these traditions instead of seeing the powerful, overwhelming similarities? Well, it seems the ancients ran into one massive problem. That problem was language. You see, they weren't trying to be mysterious. They were trying to explain these infinite, totally mind-bending concepts using a finite tool, our words. It's like trying to capture the ocean in a teacup. Language was a cage, and these ideas were just too big to fit. And that's why they had to use metaphors and parables and symbols. But here's the amazing part. When you zoom out, when you start to look past the specific cultural paint jobs and the different metaphors, these incredible patterns start to emerge. They connect like stars, forming a constellation. And out of that pattern, 5 powerful, universal truths shine through. So let's break them down. We're talking about 5 core truths that just keep showing up, again and again, woven through everything from the Hindu Upanishads and Mayan beliefs, all the way to the teachings of Jesus and the Buddha. First up, and this one is the absolute foundation for everything else, the feeling that you are a separate self inside a body, looking out at a separate world, is a hallucination. It's a glitch in our perception. You're not just some temporary little wave that pops up in the vast ocean of existence. No, you are the ocean, just temporarily taking the form of a wave. You never, ever stopped being the whole thing. And this idea is everywhere. The Hindu concept tatwam, which literally means you are that. The Buddhist teaching of no self. The Kabbalistic idea that we are all just emanations from a single source. And what's really wild is that modern science, specifically quantum physics, is now arriving at a weirdly similar conclusion, describing reality as one single unified field where separation is just an illusion. Okay, so truth number 2 flows directly from this idea of oneness. It says that fear is the great illusion. Think about it. If we're all part of the same whole, then fear, which always comes from a sense of separation and threat, can't be our fundamental reality. The ancients would say that love is simply the recognition of that oneness. Love is our default state. Fear is just the static that keeps us from hearing the real music. Now, truth number 3 is a total game changer. Your mind isn't a camera, passively recording what's out there. It's a projector. It is actively generating the reality you experience every single second. Your inner world, your beliefs, your fears, your hopes, gets projected onto the screen of life, and you experience it as objective reality. So if your mind is projecting your reality, what's been blocking you from seeing the truth all this time? Every ancient tradition points the finger at the same culprit, the ego. This small, fearful, separate sense of me is the only real enemy you will ever face. And the 5th truth just ties it all together beautifully. Everything is connected. The universe isn't a collection of dead, separate things. It's a single, living, breathing organism, which means every thought you have, every action you take, sends ripples through the entire system. You're not a passenger in the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself. Of all these truths, the ancients were obsessed with that 4th one, the internal enemy. They believed it was the root cause of basically all human suffering. So let's dive a little deeper here. What exactly is this ego they were all warning us about? See, the ego isn't who you really are. It's more like a survival mechanism. Think of it as a suit of armor you started building as a kid to protect yourself from your fears and insecurities. The problem is, we forget we're even wearing it. We start to believe the suit of armor is us. Here's a really simple way to know when you're operating from the ego. The ego is obsessed with the outside world. It's constantly asking, what do they think of me? Who do they think I am? Life becomes a performance. But your true self, your deeper consciousness, is only interested in one question, and it looks inward. Who am I, really? So this all raises a gigantic question. If these truths are so fundamental and so ancient, why is our modern world so packed with anxiety and division and loneliness? How did we lose the signal so badly?
Well, the ancient signal hasn't actually gone anywhere. It's just that the modern noise has become absolutely deafening. We have built a world that is basically designed to make stillness and self-reflection almost impossible.
The source material has a great term for all these distractions: psychological malware. And when you think about it, that's exactly what it is. News cycles that feed on our stress, algorithms designed to hijack our attention, a culture of outrage that's replaced quiet contemplation with endless addictive distraction. All of this noise keeps us trapped in the ego's little story. So, what's the way out? According to the ancients, the path forward isn't about adding more beliefs or more rituals. No, it's a path of subtraction. It's about stripping away all the noise until the only thing left is what was there from the very beginning. And you see the same basic roadmap for waking up across all the traditions. First, you strip away the noise by just embracing silence. Second, you practice presence. You stop living in your head about the past or the future and just return to what's real, right now. Third, you start to dissolve the ego by recognizing that the protective armor you built was actually the wound itself. And finally, you shift to compassion because you realize that since we're all connected, taking care of others is just you taking care of you. And that's the beautiful secret at the heart of all this. This whole journey isn't about becoming some enlightened superhero. Waking up is simply remembering. It's about returning to the original, whole, connected self you were before the world handed you a script and told you who you were supposed to be. So the final question isn't about whether any of these truths are real. It's way more personal than that. What in your life would have to change if you simply started living as if you remembered who you truly are?